Alright everybody, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel, where 2 nights ago I won the New England 900. Woo! Man, that feels good. Not gonna lie, it feels really good. And maybe I've already released my video of the race by now. You guys already know we had some problems with, well, we didn't have problems. I couldn't reach the camera to turn on the GoPro inside the car once I was strapped in, and Eddie had already gone back up to the top of the grandstands to be my spotter. Just kind of flat forgot, which I probably already went over in the New England 900 video. But it's Sunday, and that means it's Cutlass Day. It actually is Sunday, both for me and for you guys, because that's when I do my Cutlass videos. Come out on Sunday, and I've kind of figured out what I'm going to do for the tube that's going to support that box. And before too much longer, don't know if I'll get to it in this video or not. I'm already kind of running late. It was kind of hectic to get back, but we all had to come here anyway to get our cars swapped around and all that stuff. So might be back on this here in just a few minutes today, or I might go home. But I at least wanted to get this video started. It's kind of funny. I'm still super excited. And it's Sunday, and it's Sunday. Anyways, off to the intro. Alright everybody, today's video is sponsored by Factor, and Factor helps you take the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue, and instead get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more, it'll really help you eat better. I don't know about you guys, but I am so busy, and like, honestly, my diet until recently has not been high on my priority list. And as I've gotten older, I've noticed that what I eat really affects how I feel every day going about my work. All right, so today I've got a couple to choose from, but the one on top, caramelized onion, Swiss cream cheese chicken with green beans, mushrooms, and garlic herb butter. So show you just how quick and easy this is. Add the plastic a little bit, and in 2 minutes I will have myself an awesome healthy meal to eat without going out and getting stuck with fast food. And like I've been talking about, Factor meals help you avoid the hassle of prepping, cooking, and even cleaning up, because it's all kind of built into its own little package here. Pop it out, let it sit for a minute, be chowing down on something awesome. All right, so our 2 minutes is up. It's actually been like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And yeah, it's still pretty warm. Actually, it's real warm. And now I'm gonna chow down. Actually, I want some of this up on my chicken. Real hot. Golly, that's good. Alright, so I'm not going to eat my whole meal in front of you guys, but you can head to factor75.com or click the link below and use our code WINWITHKSR50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next month of orders. Next month of order? Anyways, you guys get the point. So that's code WINWITHKSR50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next month of orders. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. Let's get back out into the shop and keep working on the Cutlass. Well, like I thought from the last clip, it's been a couple days because we've been thrashing on all the other stuff like, ooh, chassis. Yes! I just got back inside from painting that on the inside with lizard skin, and I'm gonna work on my car. So, I got a piece of tube, and we are going to work on a piece that goes kind of from where this joint is up to this bar. So it kind of supports that. Just because it, you know, if this is down here, you know, your upper control arm is there, it's pulling here, which could maybe flex this a little bit. And then this being out here in the open, because obviously that bar won't be there. But maybe you could pull on that or push this up and down, because this stock frame really isn't doing a whole lot. But rather than just talk about it, we'll be about it, and we'll get some stuff done. So here we go. All right, well, if you were paying attention, you might be wondering why I missed. So, obviously, we got a gap here. And I know originally I said I was gonna go kind of like straight in line. So more from there to the top of this, and then down to land on the bar kind of ahead of it. You know, it's kind of, nothing's for sure. At least until I make it permanent by welding it in. And if you saw me struggling in the beginning to move that down, which I don't know if that ended up in the time lapse or not. I thought I was time lapsing. Turned out I was filming real time. So I flipped it to time lapse. But these are real tight in here right now because they actually have a 20 thousandths shim in there. So once that shim is removed, the rod end will be able to easily slide up and down in there. But what we are going to accomplish, or what I am going to accomplish, is a connection between there, the top of the bar, and that bar. So through some kind of bend and a little bit of luck, We'll notch that to where it lines up straight with, come on. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me get one of my nifty little Centurial magnets to hold, let's take the little one, to hold the bar in place so I can point at things. If you guys hadn't seen these are made by Centurial. Got a few of their tools, and it's adjustable, and then you snug it down like that. So let's try this again. Set it in where it's just a little bit loose. Oh, you didn't just do that. Magnets are too good. All right, so what I'm looking to accomplish is we'll make that intersect there to where it's level with the bar. So you can kind of see that's about the junction we're going for there. And then I'll be able to weld in here and around there and across the back. And then I'll put a bend in it to make it land into this bar, which will kind of just super reinforce that little box. And kind of why I changed direction here is, you know, this control arm up here is pulling on this part of the chassis. Well, now it's going to have to pull this bar as well as try and bend that bar, which this frame's there's not going to be much left of this when we're done with it. It's literally getting cut right here, and there'll be nothing left of the outside of it. So the frame out here, not really doing much of anything. It's what we got to do to beat the rules. Some of you have asked why I'm leaving the stock frame in there. That's what I've got to do to meet classes for some rules that I can actually afford to race. Can't afford to run unlimited with everybody with 4,000 and 5,000 horsepower. Looking at you, Cletus. So we're gonna enjoy what class we fit into with, you know, 1,800 to 2,000 horsepower. Hopefully running mid to low 7s, tickle this thing into the 6s, depending on where we end up weight-wise and all of that other stuff. But I'll show you guys something that kind of excites me a little bit here. So the car's sitting level on the lift. We check the angle on one side here. 16, hopefully that shows up. 16.85. Swivel around to over here. Ha, look at that. 16.8, 16.75, 16.8. That's close enough for me. I mean, 0.05 on two bars that are like, you know, coming from opposite sides of the car and like fitting all that in there. And I tell you, I keep saying that, like, we're getting to the easier bars. We're getting to the easier bars. I keep making things just the look that I'm going for and how I'm working things out. Like if I had just done this bar straight, that'd have been easy, because it would have been a straight notch here, straight notch there, and yeah, we would have had to have notched it to fit around the bucket. But this setup, once it's all said and done, I think is going to be better, and I think it's worth the extra effort. So that is what I'm doing. And I'm not too far from skinning the tubs back some more, maybe even cutting the tubs completely out and then cutting the back of the frame off. I just got to do something to get, I don't know, we got to make something to hold up the back of the body. But before I do all that, I got to make sure the body's super square and lots of other measuring stuff. It's pretty square, you know, because I've nailed it up there on the dash bar. But just in case that moved it all up there, you know, got some things to figure out. So I'm about to go pick up my two younger daughters from their two different gymnastics classes that are 10 miles apart from each other. Is what it is. They both enjoy gymnastics, so that's what they're doing. And I'll be back on this in the morning for a couple hours to try and get those made. Might be in for a little bit of a fight, so got maybe a little bit of trickery that I can do to maybe make that work. But I'll take you guys along for the ride tomorrow morning, which is going to be in about 2 seconds. So we're back the next day, and I promised you guys I'd show you a little trick, or at least how I'm going to figure out how to make this bar that goes from there to there, and it hopefully work out without trying it multiple times and scrapping a lot and wasting too much time. And anyway, set the camera back up in the tripod here. Basically, I'm just going to take a piece of filler rod here, and I know I want, like, we're going to use a 1-inch tube, so I'm going to estimate about 1 inch, which is, you know, pretty close to the thickness of my finger there. And then about here, we're going to bend it to turn it. Actually, let's go a little bit past that, just because the bar, when I bend it, it'll have you know, some curvature to it. So, and then we're gonna basically trim this until, trim and bend until we get the look that I'm going for. So I'm intersecting on this tube where it's in the middle of the tube, so that we've got a nice joint there to weld. And then it'll come out to the bend here, which I need to shorten it a little bit more. Bend it a little bit more, shorten it a little bit more. A little snip. And that's looking like something we can work with. Might even could shorten it just a little bit more. Yeah. Trim off about another 3/16. So it's kind of running into the middle of this tube. And then, and really this fitment over here doesn't have to be perfect. I'm looking more for this fitment over here and then this across here to be where I can weld the front side of it. And then if I can help it, where this bar comes up, I would like it to be straight up and down in this vertical plane, which from where I'm standing over here to the side makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense for you guys. But now to figure out what I need, what angle I need to bend the bar at, I'm just holding it down there. You know, the bar is 0. So then, to get a rough idea, looks like we're gonna go with 45. Well, that's nice and easy. So now I'll get the bender set up. This tube is gonna be too short to bend. This was a piece of scrap that I had, which I used to demonstrate the process with the other day, or yesterday, when I was trying to make all that work out. So I'm gonna switch the die sets in our Rogue Fab bender here, get a longer piece of tubing, and I'll put a 45-degree bend in it, and then I'll cut it to where it's like a 1/2 inch longer than each of these ends, and then I should be able to pretty quickly notch that back. Actually on the bottom, because that's at such an angle, I'll probably do 3/4 on the long end, and then I'll do a 1/2 on the shorter end, because it's not going to take, like, the depth of the notch in the tube isn't going to be more than a 1/2 inch. I don't think. If I mess it up, I can make another one, but we'll see if we can get that knocked out real quick. And I'm going to do a time lapse here and get back to work, so we can try to get these two done and I can get back home. Well, like I mentioned in the before time lapse section,
Got to switch the dies in the Rogue Fab bender. Get that switched around to the 1 inch, and I'm using a 1 inch die with a 3 inch center line radius. So if we were to bend that bar in a circle, it would basically be 6 inches on the diameter. But I really sped up this portion of the time lapse because this one bar, even after I got it bent, all that went real quick. Looking at it, just barely skimming away little bits here and there, because this one was a tough one. I mean, even surprised me, because I knew it would be a little bit of a fight, just because I'm kind of working on fitting it inside of a triangle, as you can kind of see from this angle, and that makes it difficult. But the biggest thing is each notch had to be in the right place on each end of the bar, because otherwise it would be too high or too low on the right side bar that we're looking at here. Or if I don't get it right on where it mates to the larger bar that's on the left side of the screen, well, then that throws off the fitment and how level it is going across the top of the lower control arm box there. The lower control arm mounting box. So I sped this part of the footage up a lot, just so we wouldn't be here for the rest of the night watching it. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, well, I will admit that took way longer than I thought it was going to, even with my little trick. But it fits exactly like I wanted it to. It's pretty well straight. Let me get actually centered on the bar here. It's straight up and down this way, I think, ish. I didn't measure it, just eyeballed it. It's close enough. It's pretty straight as far as perpendicular to the center line of the car. This way, ow, it's still hot too. And then the most difficult thing that I was after is that I got it to where I could weld it to that bar right there. And the fabricators that watch this may understand why this was such a pain. You literally have, it's going down and diagonally out that way, and then this bar is going down. So we're trying to pinch between two points, but then line it up to where it's still level with that. That one was a tough one. And I'm not going to do the other one in this video, because you guys watched enough of that in this video. So I'll get that one knocked out, and then we will continue on with some other stuff for next week's video. But that'll do it for this video. Can't thank you all enough for watching, subscribing, following along. All the congratulations for winning the New England 900 in, well, yesterday's video. Well, it's actually coming out. Well, it's actually out right now. Been out for a couple hours, and then I'm down here finishing up. But I pop in and read the comments, and it's cool that there's a lot of excitement behind that, at least on my pages. I haven't looked elsewhere, but anyways, thank you again for watching, subscribing, following along, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. So thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. We will see you guys next time.